అవును మ్యామ్. అవును. ఇంక మనం ఉండదు. అవును మ్యామ్. అంటే యాక్చువల్‌గా BRC, రామ్స్ ఫ్యాషన్ ఇవి ఓకే అయిపోతే ఇంక అయి సరిపోతాయిలే ఇలాగ చేసుకుంటే అనుకున్నాను మ్యామ్. బట్ ఇదేమో స కొన్ని కట్ చేసేసారన్నారు. అదేమో ఇంకా ఫైనలైజ్ అవ్వలేదు. అలా అయిపోయింది. ఓకే. ఆ! అవును మ్యామ్. ఒకవేళ ఆయన చేద్దాం అనుకున్నా వేరే వాళ్ళు వద్దు ఎందుకు అన్న అలా ఆపేస్తున్నారు. అవును. తప్పదు మ్యామ్. హ్మ్. ఓకే. యాక్చువల్‌గా కాదు మ్యామ్. వైఎస్ఆర్‌సీపీలో పెద్దిరెడ్డి అక్కడే కదా మ్యామ్. ఆయన కాదని ఇవ్వరు. అదే. అదే. హ్మ్. యాక్చువల్ ఆయన వీళ్ళు రైవల్ కాబట్టి అది అవ్వదనుకుంటాను. అవును. ఎందుకంటే ఆల్రెడీ అవును. అవునవును. సేమ్ పార్టీలో అంటే ఐ థింక్ ఇంకా వేరేగా ఎళ్ళిపోవాలి. అంటే ఎమ్మెల్యే కాకుండా ఎమ్మెల్సీ అలా ఏమన్నా కావాలంటే ఎళ్ళొచ్చు తప్పితే బెటర్. ఆ! ఓకే. ఓకే మ్యామ్. అవునవును. అవును మ్యామ్. అవును. మనకి వన్ అందులో పెద్దది 1 ఆర్ 2 క్లయింట్స్ వచ్చినా సరిపోతుంది. జనరల్లీ అంతే ఉంటుంది కన్వర్షన్ రేటు 2%, 3%. అవును. అవును. చాలా మంచి కన్వర్షన్ అది. ఆ! ఇం అదేనండి. అవునండి. అవును. అవును మనం చేయొచ్చు. ఆ చిన్న బడ్జెట్ ఉన్న వాళ్ళకి మామూలుగా 5,000, 3,000లో అంటే అలా చేయొచ్చు మేము. ఆ! అవును. ఆ! చేస్తాను మ్యామ్. అదే ఆఫీస్‌లో ఉన్నాయి ఏదో ఒక నంబర్ ఇచ్చి అది నేను చెప్తాను మ్యామ్ మీకు. ఇన్‌స్టాగ్రామ్, ఫేస్‌బుక్ ఆల్రెడీ ఉంది కాబట్టి చూడాలి. స్కిల్ లేదనుకుంటా మ్యామ్. స్కిల్ మాంక్స్ ఉంది. అవును. స్కిల్ మాంక్స్ ఉంది మ్యామ్. అవును. యాక్చువల్ స్కిల్ మాంక్స్ కూడా పోస్ట్ అవి చేయొచ్చు మ్యామ్. ఇన్ఫో చేసినయి పోస్టింగు, షేరింగు, యాక్టివిటీ ఆగిపోయింది. అవును.
Hi, good evening, everyone. How are you doing? Everyone doing great? We'll get started, okay? So I hope everybody is here. Good evening again, everyone. Okay, great. So the link is shared. So at this link, what we have done is we have put all the practice programs and the links to the YouTube videos. Okay, you'll see the link in the chat, live chat. So this link has the assignments and the links to the videos. Okay, so end of every day we'll upload the class notes as well as videos here. Okay, so we'll get started. We did a program yesterday. Okay, we did a program yesterday towards the end to rearrange the words, right? To rearrange the word. Okay, so yesterday we did three words in increasing order, right? We will retry the same program. Okay, but this time we will do in decreasing order. Okay, so we will find the highest value. Okay, we'll find the highest value first, then second highest, and third highest. Okay, so what we'll do is, let's say we have number 1, comma number 2, comma number 3, 3 numbers we have, and let's say we assign 20, 60, and 40. So we will have 3 values. Okay, I'll call it as B1, a big one. Okay, B1, B2, B3, and for now I'll assign number 1 each of the 3. Okay, and here we will write our logic. Find highest value. Okay, we'll say highest, second highest, and lowest, right? Okay, class notes is also uploaded in the same link which is given. Okay, if you scroll up to the chat, you will see. Okay, so we'll write the logic. So what we expect is, after the logic, okay, B1, B2, B3 will have okay, the B1 will have the highest value. Okay, B1 will have the highest value, B2 second highest, and B3 will have third highest or the lowest. Okay, and then we can print something like this. We can print, okay, B1 is greater than equal to B2 is greater than equal to B3. Okay. So I've just created the structure. We need to start putting in the content here. Okay. So before we actually write the program, we need to understand the logic, right? I told you yesterday, the way we do programming is same way we think, right? We need to control our mind, okay? And then once we understand how our mind works, then we can exactly do the program. Okay? So let's try here. Oops. Let's say I have okay, ABC. I need to find which is the highest, right? We'll go step by step. First, we'll try to find the B1 highest value. So what we do, we need to compare A and B first. Okay, so compare if A greater than B. If the answer is yes, so we have two possibilities, right? Yes or no. Correct? So if A is greater than B, okay, then you come to yes this side. So here we know that A is greater than B for sure. So A is definitely greater than B. So A is not the last number, but then we don't know if A is greater than C or not. So now I'm going to say A greater than C, right? A is greater than B, and now I'm going to check if A is greater than C. So again, two options, yes and no. Correct? So if yes, that means A is greater than B as well as greater than C. So our B1 has become A. Right? Now here, C is greater than A. Correct? So in this case, our B1 has become C. Now this side, if you go, here A greater than B is false. No. So that means B is greater than A. Now between B and C, we need to check which is greater. So I'm going to compare B greater than C. So you'll get yes or no. If it is yes, that means B is greater than A and B is greater than C. So obviously our B1 is, sorry, B1 is B, right? Not C. B1 is B because B is greater than A as well as B is greater than C. Now this side, if you go, that means B is greater than C is no. That means C is greater than B. Okay. So C is greater than B and B is greater than A. So obviously C is the greatest value, right? So I'm going to say B1 equal to C. Okay. So C is greatest, right? Let's try to implement this using Python now. Okay, any question here? So now let's start. Oh yes, sorry guys. So since screen cannot be shared, I have to stop and share again. Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. I missed to share the screen. Now you should be able to see it. Okay. So this is what I did. Okay. So first I'm comparing A greater than B. Okay. I'm comparing A greater than B. If it is true, okay, then we are going here. So this is yes, and this is no. Correct? So if A greater than B is true, now I'm checking if A greater than C. If this is also true, that means A is highest. Correct? And here it means C is greater than A, okay, and A is greater than B. So our B1, the highest value is C. Okay. Now A greater than B is no. That means B is greater. So now I'm comparing B and C. Okay, B is greater than C. So B has become the highest value. Okay, and no means C is greater than B. Okay, so C has become the highest value. So at this stage, we know the highest value. We know the highest value, isn't it? So we are comparing AB, then comparing AC. Okay, then we're comparing BC. Now we know which is the highest. Okay, let's implement this. Okay, in Python, and then we'll come back and look for the second and third highest. So I'm going to move to our PyCharm now. Okay, so what did we do? First step was comparing if A greater than B. Okay, I'll write the logic later. Then I'm comparing. Okay, your A is here, num1, and B is num2, right? Else. Okay, so else we are saying pass. Right? So in this case, it is A num1 is greater than num2, right? Here it means that num2 is greater than num1, correct? Now, we know here that num1 is greater than num2. Now I'm going to compare if num1 is greater than num3. Now here you can say greater than equal to, okay? We don't have to say greater than, you can say greater than or equal to. In either case, it's the same thing, right? Okay, so now num1 is greater than num2 and num1 is greater than num3. We'll write pass for now, and here else pass, right? So see here, num1 is greater than num2 and num1 is greater than num3. That means highest value is num1. So b1 equal to num1. And this is else. Okay, else means what? Here, it is inside the first if. So num1 is greater than num2 and num3 is greater than num1. So obviously our highest value here will be num3. Correct? Similarly, if you go down, num2 is highest. I'm going to compare num2 with num3. Okay. So if num2 is greater than num3, then obviously num2 is highest. Okay. Else num3 is highest. Okay. So this is how you can convert the logic that we did on paper to your program, right? So this is if else. Inside this again we have if else, and here we have if else. So okay, we are comparing first number. Now we are comparing the higher value with the third number. Okay, higher value with the third number. So again you have two conditions possible. The previous number can be higher, or the third number can be higher. So we now have the highest value, correct? Now let's go and check for second highest. Okay, I'm switching back to the screen again. Okay, I'm back to the screen. Now we have found B1. Now let's come here and see. A is greater than B and A is greater than C. So obviously A is greater. But between A and C, between B and C, we have no idea. Between B and C, we have no idea. Correct? So now I have to check if B greater than C. If B is greater, then obviously B2 is B. Right? And if this is no, that means C is greater. So B2 is C. Now if B2 is B, then B3 will be C. And here B3 will be B. Correct? Now here, in this case, A is greater than B and C is greater than B. So C is highest, but B2 is now A. So we don't have to check A and B because we have already checked A and B. Okay, so A is greater than B. So directly we can say B2 equal to A and B3 equal to B. Similarly here, B is greater than A and B is greater than C. So B is highest, but between A and C, we don't know which is higher. Between A and C, we don't know which is highest. So I'm going to check if, okay, A greater than C. Okay, so if this is true, then B2 is A. And, okay, obviously then B3 will be the C. Okay, if you have any questions, please put it in the chat, guys, okay? I'll respond to the chat. And in this case, no. No means C is greater. If C is greater, then obviously B2 will be C and B3, okay, is your A. Okay, now here B is greater than C. No, B is not greater than C, right? It's no. So C is greatest and A of course is greater than B. So directly we can say B2 is B and B3 is A. Done, we are done. So now same logic we will add to our existing program. So I'm going back to the screen. Okay. So here we said, okay, that num1 is greater than num2. So we got num1 as the highest. But which is second highest? We don't know. We don't know second highest. So inside this, I'm going to compare num2 greater than num3. If num2 is greater, then your B2 and B3, right? So your B2 will be num2 and B3 is num3. Else B2 comma B3 is num3 comma num2. Okay, and else here, of course, B1 is num3. So num3 is highest, but we know here that B2 second highest is num1. So you get num1 comma num2 will be the lowest value. Okay, now coming here again, here num2 is greater than num1 and num2 is greater than num3. So B1 is num2, but we don't know which is second highest. So I'm going to compare num3 greater than num1. Okay, if of course if num3 is greater, then B2 will be num3 and B3 will be num1, smallest value. Else, okay, that means num1 is greater than num3, right? So num1 will be second highest, okay, and num3 is your third highest. Here num1 is greater, num3 is greater, so we know num3 is greater, so by default num2 will be second highest and num1 is the lowest value here. Okay, now when you run it, you see 60 greater than 40 greater than 20. You can change any value here and you can see, you can make this as say 80 and I'll make this as 10. 80, 40, 10. Okay. Clear? Okay. So see, this is not difficult. This is lengthy. Okay. So you try coding. I said when I'm teaching, don't try to code parallelly. Just watch my screen. Okay. Do not program when I'm talking. When I'm done, okay, then you can go back and watch the video and you can practice, isn't it? So this is how you can get your multiple or nested if, right? Three levels, we have gone to 3 levels. Easy. So here we will leave our if condition, and now we'll move to next topic, which is loops. Okay, we'll focus on loops. And of course, when you do loops, then again if is used, right? If and loops, these are important for logic. Okay, especially those who are from non-programming background, you have to focus on loops and if. That's the basic core. Okay, all the logic is implemented using if and loops. Okay, so let's talk about loops. What is loops? Loop is, okay, when you have to execute something multiple times. Okay, if I have to say, if I have to print hello, right? I want to print hello 5 times. So one option is copy and paste 5 times. Okay, but this is not the efficient way. We can put it in a loop. Okay, a loop will repeat it for us. Okay, loop will repeat this for us. Okay, so there are 2 types of loops here in Python. Okay, one is called for loop. For loop, and second is called while loop. For loop is used when you know how many times you need to execute. So in my example, when I said I need to print hello 5 times, obviously this is a perfect case for loop. Okay, so for loop is used when we know how many times, okay, you need to execute. Okay, so I need to execute 5 times, 10 times, 12 times, 3 times, 9 times. Perfect case for loop. While loop, okay, checks for a condition. Okay, checks for a condition. Okay, and it will execute till the condition is true. Okay, I'll just give you an example, okay, from normal life to see how these two loops are different. Let's say you ask me about route to university. Okay, you want to go somewhere, you want to go to a university, and you don't know the route. You ask me, think that I need to go to so and so university. How do I go? So there are two ways I can answer. One, I'll tell you, keep going on this road, and after maybe 5 kilometers, you will see the university on your left side. Okay, so here I know exactly that it is 5 kilometers. Okay, and I'm going to say you will get the university on the left side. So what you do, okay, you will drive or run or ride your bike for exactly 5 kilometers, right? You will not look here or there. You will keep running, right? You will run and you will keep track of the distance. The moment it is 5 kilometers, you will stop and you look to the left. So if I told you correctly, you will see the university on the left. But if I got the number wrong, you won't see it, right? So that's one way where you know exactly how many times, what is the distance. Second is, I don't know the exact distance, but I can tell you, keep going till you see a big red building on your left. Okay, so here I'm giving condition. Keep walking till you see a big red building. So red till you see is a condition. So you keep walking, you take a step, look left, look for red building, you don't find it. Again, you take a step. Now, if I make a mistake here, okay, let's say building color is blue, but I told red. What happens? You'll keep on walking forever, isn't it? So in while, if you do not handle the condition properly, it will get into infinite kind of loop. Okay, we will now implement each one of them and see how they work. Okay. So first we'll focus on for loop. Same example, printing hello 5 times. Let's see how we can do using for loop. Okay, so I'm going to say print hello 5 times using for. Okay, I'm saying printing hello 5 times using for so that you know the header, right? Okay. Now here, okay, it's a for loop. So the first word that starts is for. For. Okay. There are multiple components here. Unlike your C, C++, Java, .NET, they have a one fixed syntax here. There are multiple syntax here which we need to understand. Okay, so one is for. You need a variable which will count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, isn't it? So you have a variable, let's say I call it as counter. So counter is a variable. From where will it get a value? So counter will get value from, so I'm saying in, counter in. Now I need to write a function. I need to write a function that will return 1 to 5, correct? That will return 1 to 5 values, isn't it? So I'm saying for counter in range. Range 0, 5, 1. Okay, each of these is separate, I told you that separate thing, right? So let's go from right to left here. Colon indicates that from now for loop is going to begin. Okay, colon indicates for loop is going to begin. So your for loop will have for keyword in the beginning and colon in the end, just like we had colon in the if else, right? So here too we need to add colon. Okay, after colon what we write is within the for block. Just like earlier we had if block, if else block, else block. Here too you have now for block. Okay, so you have for block. Okay, after colon what we have is for block. Okay, so you have for counter in range 0, 5, 1. Okay, and so range is going to generate values. Okay. How will range generate values? Range will generate values from 0, including, okay. So range is going to generate values from 0, including, I wrote, so that means including 0, okay. It will not start from 1, it will start from 0, okay, up to 5, excluding. This is important. The starting value is always including. Okay, so range will take 3 values. You have 0, 5, and 1. The range will take 3 values, 0, 5, and 1. 0 is the value indicate that it's increasing from 0. So 0 is the base. It is increasing from 0. Up to what number? Up to 5. Up to 5, not equal to 5. Up to 5. Okay, up to 5. That's why we said the ending number is always excluded. Ending number is always excluded. With increment of 1. Okay, let me delete it. Okay, with increment of 1. That means starting value is 0, I understand. Ending value is less than 5, that also I understand. But after 0, what next? Is it 1? Is it 2? Is it 3? Is it direct 5? So it says increment is 1. That means first value is 0. Second is 0 plus 1, 1. Third is 0 plus 1 was the second. So second plus 1. So 1 plus 1, 2. Okay. So first number is 0. Second number is 2. First number is 0. Second number is 1. Third number is 2. Fourth number is 3. Fifth number is 4. And that's when you end. Okay. So I can show you by running this print counter. Okay. And I'll add one more here. For loop is done. Okay. Now let's see what happens. I have said for counter in range, right? So as I said, range will generate values 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. In means what? In is a operator, just like plus minus. In means the value on the left side will take the value on the right. Okay. So counter will take value on the right. For is making sure that at one given time, counter takes only one value. So first time counter will take range 0, 0 from range, and then it will execute the entire code, subcode. So here I have only one code here, print counter. So counter will take value 0 and print counter. Then go up. Okay, it's going up. Then again not taking the next value as 1 because increment is 1, isn't it? It takes 1 and then comes back and prints counter. Okay, so our counter is going to be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Because the moment it becomes 5, okay, the range will not allow, range will not generate number 5. Range will not allow to go to 5th position because 4 was the last number. 5th would be greater than or equal to 5. The condition will become false in range. That's why it will stop at 4. Okay. Now I told you I want to print hello. So I can print hello. Okay. And if you want the counter value, you can say counter value as well. I hope everybody understood how for loop works. For loops works. Okay, this is for loop. For loop works with for keyword followed by a variable which will keep track of the values, followed by the operator. Okay, mostly you're going to use range, sorry, in, operator is in. Then the function we can use multiple. Okay, so next topic is string. So we'll see how you can use strings as well. Okay, need not be range. You can anything that generates values. So we'll talk about string and list, and we'll see how string and list values can also be used by, okay, the for loop to iterate through a variable. Okay, so but the most common practice is a range. Okay, so when you know how many times you have to run, you simply say 0, n times, right? 0, n, and okay, you have increment 1 here. Okay, so this is how you can generate range of values, and counter will take one value at a time. Counter first will be 0, then 1, then 2, then 3, then 4. Okay, so I hope everything is clear here. Now we'll see one more example here. Okay, we are not done yet. Okay, today we'll focus only on if, and tomorrow we can focus on, okay, why 1 is increment, right? 1 is increment. So if you put 1, it is increasing. After 0, what should we do? Okay, so I'll just respond. Okay, so 1 should increment. After 0, it goes to 1. Okay, okay. Now, what Python says is, okay, I'm going to check range with 3, 8, let's say. Okay, if I use range 3, 8, what does that mean? See, here range is taking 3 parameters, 0, 5, 1. So we know 0 is the starting value including, 5 is the ending value excluding, increment is 1, right? Increment is 1. That's what it means when we give 0, 5, 1. But what happens when we give range only 2 values? So 3 and 8. When range has only 3 values, then default increment is 1. Okay, first val is starting and second is ending. Okay, so you can also use range with just 2 values. You can also use range with 2 values. In this case, increment is by default 1. When you do not provide increment, it means increment is 1. So I can print hello again. Print hello. Okay, and I will write this loop. So I'm going to write loop first for I in range 3, 8, correct? And now I'm going to say print hello, and I is the variable, right? So I'm going to say I. Okay, so yes, okay, in this case, we're starting with 3, okay, ending up to 8, right? So the now values that will be generated, including 3, right? We'll start with 3. After 3, 3 plus 1, 4. 4 plus 1, 5. 5 plus 1, 6. 6 plus 1, 7, right? But not 8. It will stop here at 7. Okay. So now when I generate this, you get, okay. Okay, so till here we have the previous one. Now this one, you see, 4, 5, Okay, sorry, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We started with 3 and we're going to 4, 5, 6, and 7. And we are stopping at 7 because next value 8 would be equal to 8. Okay, so we said that first value, starting value is equal to ending value is 1 less. Okay. Now I can do one more program here. Let's say I've used print. I'll say third for loop that we're doing today. Okay. Now I'm saying here 3, 8, 2. Let's say. So in this example, I am changing the increment value to 2. So what are the generated values? Generated values will be 3 for sure. The next value that is generated is 3 plus 2, which is 5. Then 5 plus 2, 7. 7 plus 2, 7 plus 2, 9. 9 is of course more than 8, isn't it? It should be less than 8, not even equal to 8. So 9 is more than 8. So you will only have 3, 5, 7. Okay. So now when I run it, and if I go here, okay. So when you do not have increment value, it is 1. Otherwise, we can give the specific increment value. Okay. So we have seen range with 3 values. We have seen range with 2 values. We have range with 1 value also. Okay. We can define range with 1 value also. So I'm going to write another range for low with 1 value. So I'm going to say for I in the range 3. Print hello, comma I. For I in range 3. So when you have only one value, okay, it is the if one value, then it's ending value. Okay, not the starting value. It's the ending value. Default start is 0 and your increment, right? Yes, clear? So when you have only one value in the range, that is the ending value. When you have only one value in the range, that is your ending value. Ending value is up to starting value, default is 0 and increment is 1. Okay, so if you do not put the starting value, it means you want to start from 0. Okay, so in this case, it will generate sorry, 0, 1, 2, that's it. Right? We said 3. So it will stop before 3, correct? So you get 0, 1, and okay. So now when I run it, I would say range. Okay, sorry, not low, range. So range with one value, let's run it again. For range with one value, we got 0, 1, 2. Sure? Because we did not give starting value, so it is 0. We did not give increment, so it is 1. We gave ending value, so it will end 1 before. So we gave 3, so it will end before 3, which is 2. Okay? So this is how we use for loop using range. Okay, in other topics, like we have strings and other topics, we'll see how for loop can be used otherwise also, in different manner also. Okay, so now let's look at some examples. We have seen this hello example, right? Now let's look at some loop examples. Okay. So let's say I want to print star. Okay, single star. So if you say print single star, you get single star. Okay, you get single star. Okay, let me remove this. We don't need this, right? Because now we found a better way to run multi-line. We don't have to do print manually here. Okay, so coming back to our example, we want to print, say, single star. If you want to print a single star, you say print star. And when you execute it, you get single star. This one also put here. So when you want to print a single star, you will say print single star, isn't it? Now, if you have to print 5 stars, how do we do that? If you want to print 5 stars, you can simply say for I in the range 5. 5 means 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 0 to 4 is 5, isn't it? So for I in range 5, default increment is 0. Default starting value is 1. Okay. And now I'm going to put this inside for loop. Okay. Exactly the way we did the if else condition, right? The indentation is important. Here too, you can give any number of spaces in the indentation for the first line. But number of lines that you put in indentation for second line should be same as the first line. Okay. So indentation will indicate that this line of code is inside loop. Okay. So we created a loop of range 5. That means it will go from 0 to 4. Okay, 5 times. And I'm saying print star. So now you can get print star. Simple, isn't it? Now let's add a little more complexity to it. Little more complexity. I want to print. Okay, let's see the output. 5 stars. Now I want to print all the stars in same line. I want to print 5 stars in same line. What can we do? We discussed this before, right? So print has an invisible new line. That's where any value you print, it will print in the new line. Okay, it has a default new line. So if you have to remove that new line, because I want to print all the values in the same line, right? So the print should not, okay, should not change the line after printing one value. Okay, so we need to make that new line visible. This is what we have seen, right? You have to make the new line visible and then replace it with whatever you want. So I'm replacing the invisible new line with visible and equal to. Okay. So now when I run it, yeah, you see that? You got this. So this is for 5 value, right? Now I want to repeat this 5 times. Okay, so let's slowly build the complexity and improve our skills. So I want, let me put multi-line comment. 2, 3, 4, 5. 4, right? 5. I want to print 5 stars. In one row, we have printed 5, and then the whole thing I need to repeat it 5 times. How do we do that? So see here. This one is printing 5 stars, okay, in one single row. And I want 5 times, 5 rows. So whatever is printing one single row, if I copy and paste it 5 times, I will get 5 stars. Okay, instead of copying 5 times, I'll run that in a loop. So this loop is giving me one line with 5 stars. This loop is giving me one line with 5 stars. So now I'm going to put one more for loop. J in range 5. Okay, so I have put in this thing in 5 lines. This is going to print, okay, 5 stars in one line. And I want to repeat it 5 times, isn't it? So I'll push both of this inside this. So now we have an example of loop inside a loop, for loop inside another for loop, for loop inside another for loop. Okay, for loop inside another for loop. So what happens inside block will run 5 times. Okay, the first line number 57 will be called. 57 says range 5. So when you say range 0, when the range value is 0, when j is 0, okay, it will again execute it 5 times. Then you go back to outer range, which is j. Then now j will have value 2. Right? So again, it will go and execute 5 times. Now again, you go and look at the j value, which is 3. Okay. So what happens is inner loop is run multiple times based on the outer loop. Okay. Because outer loop, when it calls, you have to execute all the lines of code. Only then next line will be called. So, okay. So when j is 0, it will print 5 stars. Now when j becomes 1, again it will print 5 stars. Okay. So let's see if we got what we wanted to get. No, we didn't get what we wanted to get. What happened? Stars are printing in one single line. So 5 into 5, 25 stars. So you can see 25 stars are there. The problem here is that all the stars have been printed in same line. So we need to break. What happens here? You see, after printing star, we are saying end equal to blank. So the new line is not getting printed. So we need a new line. We need a new line, isn't it? When do we need a new line? New line is needed when you are done printing inner star. When you're done printing inner star, before printing outer star, you say print, that's it. New line will be printed. So inner 5 line is printed. Before it goes to the outer j, it will print. See, the print is inside j, isn't it? So the print line will be printed inside j only, before j becomes 2. So now when you run it, okay, so what happened? This is coming from the previous case, right? So once you are done, you can put print here, right? So the previous line and the current line from here, both are getting joined because here also we don't have new line, isn't it? So now when we run it, you got, okay, so this extra line is from the previous line, okay? Just look at the next 5 lines. Okay, so this is how you can print 5 stars. Yes, guys, you are not typing anything in the chat. All good? Okay, I hope everything is going good. That's why you're not typing in the chat. Okay, great. Okay, now let's modify this program, okay, to find a different pattern. What we did was we just created a square box of stars. Okay. So see here, I'm going to explain how this is working. I have Ji. Okay, J is outer, right? And then I have I is inner. So first line J is called, so J is 0. Okay, when J is 0, it comes to next line. Next line is a for loop. So I will now execute it 0, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Once I has executed 5 times, now it will print star. Okay, it will go back to the iteration second. Second iteration J equal to 1. Okay, second iteration J equal to 1. Now when J equal to 1, again the inner loop is called, isn't it? Inner for loop is called I. So I will again call 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Once I is done, again J is called for loop. Okay, so now again J becomes 2. Since I is inside J, again I will run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. After that again J will become 2. Oh, J is already 2. J becomes 3. Okay, that's how, okay, every outer loop will make inner loop run full iteration. Okay, so that's why we got 5 into 5, 25 iterations. Okay, this is how loop or nested loop works. Clear? Okay. Now let's add one more tweak to this. Okay, we'll add one more tweak to this. The next example, okay, in the next example, I want to print stars, but not 5 in all lines. I want to print first 1 star, then 2, then 3, then 4, and finally 5. 3, 4, 5. I want to print something like this. So first line 1 star, second line 2, third line 3, so on. But we approach. Okay, so see, okay, if you take the previous example, we'll start with the previous example. So I'm going to copy and paste the previous example, this one. How is different? See, outer loop, it has to run 5 times. Outer loop is giving us 5 lines. So here also we need 5 lines. So since we need 5 lines, the outer loop will need to run 5 times. So the outer loop will run 5 times. So this range 5 is correct. Inner loop, okay, is not correct. Oops, sorry. Thanks, guys. Sorry. Now I have changed back. Okay, now you should be able to see. So what I was saying is, okay, with this code, we printed this. Now I want to print a different values. Okay, I want to print in line 1, 1 star, in line 2, 2 star, line 3, 3 star, line 4, 4 star, line 5, 5 star. Okay, it's like increasing order. Okay, it's like your right angle triangle. Line 1, we want only 1 star, but in line 2, I want 2. Line 3, I want 3, so on. Okay. So in this case, you see, we still need 5 lines. We still need 5 lines. Okay, since we still need 5 lines, okay, the outer loop of j equal to 5 holds true. This is the previous example. So outer loop 5 has to be there because we need 5 lines, 5 rows. But inner loop should be, if it is first row, it should be 1. If it is second, it should be 2. Third, 3. So inner loop, the I range here should be dynamic. We cannot give one single value. I cannot say 1 or 3 or 5. It should change dynamically. Okay, so first it should be 1, then it should be 2, then 3, then 4. How can we make that happen? Is there a way we can make this happen which changes? Okay, use your logic. So if you see here, okay, we can use j. Now the problem with j is what? J is starting from 0. Okay, so j, okay, is changing. First j is 0, then 1, then 2, so on. So I have to say j, but j is starting from 0. We want 1. So first j is 0, then 1, then 2, then 3. But we want 1, 2, 3, right? So I'll say j plus 1. When I say j plus 1 here, now when you run it, you will get your right angle triangle here. Okay? Clear, everyone? Okay, let's do one more example before we end the day. Now, in the next example, I want to print this inverted triangle. Okay, so I want this triangle, but in inverted fashion. I want first 5, okay, then 4, then 3, two, and 1. Okay, so again, let's see the outer value, right? J has to be 5 because we have 5 rows. If you want 10, you can make it 10. If you want 20, you can make it 20. I have only 5 rows, so I'll put 5. But inner, you see, inner has to start from 5. Then go down one by one, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It has to start from 5. Second iteration, it has to be -1. From where will we get -1? J is here. J is increasing, isn't it? Simply you say 5 minus j. So first j is 0. 5 minus 0 is 5. Okay. And guys, I'm sharing program only. I'm not on Paint. Okay. So the screen that you are seeing is correct. Okay, so yes, I say 5 minus j. Now, when I run it, you will get inverted triangle. You see, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so please practice loops so far. Tomorrow when we meet, okay, tomorrow we'll meet and we'll look at few examples using while. Today we have spent enough time on for loop. Tomorrow we'll spend enough time on while. We'll understand how while works. We know how for loop works, right? So tomorrow we'll work on while, and day after we'll do programs using both while and for. Okay, if condition and for loop is basic minimum, especially for non-programming who are coming from non-programming background. These two are important for you. Okay, we will spend enough time. We spend today on loop. Tomorrow again we'll spend on loop. Day after Saturday again we'll spend on loop. So this week fully we have done if conditions and loops. Why we have to put and? See, Sai Krishna, if you do not watch previous videos, you will have problem. Okay, you have to watch the previous class videos before coming to next class. Okay, if you do not put and, okay, if you do not put and, what happens? Print will print in next line. It will not print in same line. So you'll have start in different line. So when you say end equal to blank, we are removing the invisible new line. We are removing the invisible new line, and instead of invisible new line, I'm printing space. Okay, so end is to replace the invisible new line character. Okay, so we do not want new line. Okay, so to replace new line, we are using end. To replace new line, we are using end. Clear? We're going to stop here, but please practice. Okay, let's say what we'll do one day, we'll have just doubt clearing session, and okay, you should be able to share your program. Okay, okay, please watch the video and practice. Yes, okay, the team has shared the link. All the programs and videos are uploaded on this link. Okay, all the class notes and videos are uploaded. Every day after the class, I'm going to update this. Okay, I'm going to update this. So it will take 1 hour or so. End of every day, all the notes and videos will be uploaded here. Please watch the videos. Okay, if there are no questions, can we end it here? We'll meet tomorrow. Okay, and tomorrow we'll talk about while. Today we spend time on for loop. Tomorrow we'll talk about while, how to use while. Okay, so please practice these 4 or 5 programs and see the output, understand it. Okay, and ask me questions if you have. Okay, tomorrow we'll do while loop, and day after again we'll do mix of while and for loop. We'll solve some programs. Okay. You try, Sai Krishna, you try. Okay. Yes, of course you can do it. Try it. Without using end, you try. Okay. Try. Okay. So best way of learning programming, I told you before, programming is same as mathematics. Okay. You can solve into multiple ways, right? When you start solving a problem, you can solve the problems in multiple ways. So it doesn't matter that what teacher has told, that is the only way. No. So I'm not saying that whatever I'm doing is the only way. Of course, this is one of the ways. If you want to try something else, please try. At max, what will happen? Your program will not work. Nothing else will happen. It's not going to, the laptop is not going to catch fire, correct? Worst thing that can happen is program will not work. That's it. So keep trying. Okay, try different ways. If it doesn't work, you look at the problem, look at the error. Why this error has come? Oh, there's an extra star here, there's less star here, there's extra space. Then you go back and make the change. Again, you run it. Okay, you're not going to get programs right for the first time. You write some code based on your understanding, you run it, you see the output. No, this is not what I want. I need to make that change, this change. Then you go back and make the change. So don't, of course, we try to get programs right for the first attempt, but don't worry if you don't get it right for the first time. You see the output, then based on the output, you go back and make the changes. Okay, and you'll get it. So yes, you can get it. Okay, if you're not getting it, fix it. There has to be some logic that you might have done wrong. So fix it, and then you'll be able to work on it. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys. Have a good evening ahead, and we'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday. Tomorrow we'll do a while, and Saturday also we'll meet. Saturday we'll do some interesting programs. Okay, I have 2-3 interesting programs in my mind, which we will do it on Saturday. And with Saturday, hopefully, all our doubts on conditions and loops will be cleared. Take care. Bye, everyone. Good evening. Take care.